think that person is already sort of going deep, which yeah, definitely we're going to talk about tonight. So hi Emmanuel, hi. Let me see who else is on the call. I can see Zainab, I can see Grace, I can see okay. Hi Missy. Missy, thank you so much for check. Was it Missy that checked up on me during the weekend? I think it was Missy. Thank you so much for checking up on me. I can see Isabella, I can see Femi, I can see Olufemi. Oh, interesting. I can see Joy, I can see Victor, Adedapo, and Louis. Okay, great, great, great. So, just like Esther said, I'm actually one of you, right? I'm a marketer, right? And I've actually started my career as far back as, now that I think about it, as far back as 2017, 18, thereabouts, right? So I've been in marketing for a while and I've done one or two things. And interestingly, I was also opportuned to work at Trefford, right? I was actually opportune to work at Trefford, and I think because I worked at Trefford, a lot of people then see me as an ed tech marketer. I don't know why, but I've also done a couple of things in fintech and anyways, just things like that. So, not to waste anybody's time, I'm going to be sharing my screen quickly, and we'll just talk a bit about a couple of things, and we'll be on our way tonight, right? Just confirm that you can see my screen and you can still hear me.
Yes, you can see a screen and you can hear you.
Okay, great, great, great. So tonight we're going to talk about tracking digital campaigns across platform, right? And when I actually saw this topic, my I was excited and I was scared at the same time. And the reason for this is simply because a lot of the reason why I was excited is because I'm actually doing a bit. I'll explain why I'm excited later. Why I was actually scared is I've seen a lot of takes on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and all of those things, and a lot of it is actually from people who just started in marketing, people probably like 2 years, 3 years in marketing, and those takes are very dangerous on many levels. And the reason is the way I see marketing marketing is actually both creative and mathematics, right? So when I mean creative, I mean you can come up with amazing ideas, amazing campaigns. Oh my god, everywhere it's gonna trend everywhere and things like that. But if you don't take the data or the mathematics part, the plus one minus three part, if you don't take that part, you'll just be like every other marketer. You will just know that you will just notice that your career is just going from, oh, I'm earning 100K, I'm earning 150K, to I'm earning maybe 200K, and probably be on 200 to 50K for a while and things like that. And you just notice that you're not exactly moving forward. um I was telling somebody that 3 years ago I was actually sort of earning about between 80 to 120K. That was just 3 years ago. And right now, I mean, to God be the glory, it has actually gone past that. And when I actually look back, I figured that the singular reason, or the single most important reason, aside from obviously God and things like that, is the fact that I'm actually revenue and data driven. I am very data driven. Yes, I love amazing campaign ideas. I love the creative part of marketing, but at the same time, I love the revenue part of marketing. I love the if I do this, how does it impact my bottom line, which is revenue? How do I make money for this company I'm working with? How do I make money for XYZ clients I'm working with? Right. And that's why I said that all of those takes I'm seeing on LinkedIn and Twitter and whatnot is actually a very dangerous one. So tonight we're going to speak a bit on how to actually be data driven and how to actually use that data to make informed decisions for yourself so that you can make more money. Basically, I'm sure everybody wants to make more money, right? So Just like I said, my name is Jegelo Akayode, and over the last 7 years, I've actually managed over a billion naira in campaign ad spend. Now, I've not managed. I've not seen 1 billion in my own account though, but I've managed it for clients and different companies over the last actually 7 8 years, right? And I've worked with brands like MTN, DSTV, Money Africa, Treford, Edvest, Old School, blah 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 blah. Blah. Right, and I've been featured on a couple of publications. Right now, I'm experimenting, and this is why I said I was also excited. So I'm actually experimenting with building an advertising technology solution for businesses and marketers, right? And if you think about it this way, yes, Facebook ads is great, Google ads is great, but you want to actually, when you're doing marketing and you're doing advertising, you want to really, really go deep and touch people in the physical world, in the real world, wherever they are. And that's where we have the likes of your billboards and things like that. But the problem with billboards is that there's actually no data to actually support that whatever you're doing with billboards is actually working. And I'm trying to figure out how can we make sure that yes, you are doing billboard ads in wherever place, but it is number one, very it's affordable. Number two, it is measurable. And number three, it is fast. Those are the three things I'm trying to solve. So yeah, that's why I said I was actually excited about this particular topic. Okay, now that we've done a little bit of intro, let's get into it. Now, for my opening slide, right, I said that most marketers actually run ads on multiple platforms, but the problem is that they don't actually connect the dots, right? You're going to be pouring 100K daily, 100K monthly on your Facebook ads, on your Google ads, whatever, whatever, whatever. But the problem is you're not actually tracking what exactly is happening. And at the end of your campaign, you will just notice that you have burnt a lot of money, you have spent a lot of money, and yes, probably you see a little bit of conversion or here and there, but you're not exactly getting value for your money, right? And I mean, this is one of the things a lot of founders and business owners actually speak to me about. Oh, we have a marketing team. We are giving them 3 million naira per month to run ads. But number one, the leads are terrible. And number two, they're not even generating us so much money, yeah, so much revenue for the company with 3 million naira budget. I remember when I was working with Edvest, right? Our ads, our ad budget was probably 5K, 10K. Say plenty, maybe 20K or say 50K, right? And our target was crazy. We have to like get like 50 people to register for a boot camp of 100,000 naira, right? So I mean, the fact that one amazing thing about Facebook and Google Ads is that you can actually use s- small money. Okay, wait now. Disclaimer: that was way back. I can't remember what year it was. That maybe 2022 or thereabout. Now Facebook Ads is very expensive. Google Ads is expensive, right? Because of dollar and things like that. But what I'm trying to say is that you can actually use at least something reasonable and you will still be able to get really, really like really, really good results. And the only way you can actually do this is if you're actually connecting the dots and using data, you're using analytics to actually make informed decision. Right. Now, before I go on, let me quickly take a quick survey. Not like the survey, but let me just throw this open because I like to make my classes very, very interactive, right? I don't have a lot of slides, right? Probably like a couple of slides, but this is going to be very, very interactive and all of those things, right? Now, let me jump back into the class. How many of you currently run ads for maybe wherever you work or you just run ads randomly, maybe for your business? Let me just so I think if you don't see, okay, that's another thing. If you don't answer, I have to call names. Oh, aha, I can see Louis. I can see chat. No, so I think it's actually great to unmute your mic too. So let me just call your name. Okay, Grace. Grace, please unmute your mic. You currently run ads. You didn't see me. Emmanuel, okay, yeah, sorry, okay, I'll be back. I'll be back. Emmanuel. I saw the last person actually, Grace. Okay, Grace, then Emmanuel, right? So, Grace, um, when was the last time you did ads and how much did you spend? And can you tell me the ROI on that ads? We are going deep into it though. So let's speak up. Let's speak out. Where's my book? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, boss, I can hear you. When last did you run ads? How much did you spend? What was the ROI?
Okay, I'm still running the ad.
Oh, you're
So
still running.
actually,
Okay.
I'm still running the ad. So the goal is for followers like growth, followers growth actually.
Like on
So
Instagram or what?
on Instagram, but I'm using
Okay.
Meta Business Suite to run the ads. So it's yeah, so that I'm still currently running the ads. So I can't really give like a complete um a complete report on that right now. So because I
Okay.
recently started here.
Okay. So now my next question to you would then be um now the problem is I don't know how you're running the ads. That's the problem now. Okay, let's say this. Do you A/B test?
For this particular one, no.
But normally you A/B test.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so when you
To
A/B test, what do you A/B test on?
okay, so
Is it creatives? Okay. Yeah, please go
based
on.
on I'm looking at interest. Then also I also try to change the location, vary the location to see which one performs better. So based on interest, then location, then age. So those are the things I'm considering at the moment to see which one performs better.
Okay, so based are you talking about based on the ads you're running currently or based on the ads you run previously?
So based on the ads I'm running currently.
Okay, so which say let's use age group. Which age group really works great for you?
So for me right now, age group between 25 to 55
What do you sell? What are you trying to sell?
is
Yeah, or like
actually
what's the what's the this about?
insurance.
Insurance. Oh, interesting. Okay, great. So 25 to 55. Now my
Yeah.
question is when you notice that this age group is actually performing great, what then do you do next?
So what I did was to discontinue the previous one. That's them
Ah,
because I was running two. So I had to discontinue that one because it seems the cost per acquisition was even higher.
mm-hmm.
So I had this one that is I'm getting like traffic. So that's what I did.
Mm. Okay, I'll come back to you. Emmanuel.
Okay.
Emmanuel said, now is your turn. It's your turn to shine. Emmanuel, do you run ads? Um, do you do ads? Are you running currently? What is it?
Yes, I'm currently running ads.
Okay, what exactly on?
Um, and on Facebook.
Like what exactly are you trying to sell? What business is it?
So I want to generate leads for a B2B company that
Hmm.
sell a software, a financial software that can help businesses um, track and get visibility over on their finance in real time.
Hmm. Interesting. I think I know this company. Okay, great. So now, question is, how do you do your tracking currently? So, or okay, let's start from this. How do you run your ads? Do you have like a funnel that you work with, and what do you how do you track?
So at present is to generate the leads. Do you mean tracking to like to know the customer journey where they are at present? What action are they taking?
No, for basically for your ads. So maybe
Just for the
just
Google,
yeah, just
I'm sending them to the landing page.
okay.
Then for
One.
Metal, I'm using the instant form with
Okay.
a conditional logic questions to filter leads.
Okay. How do you then know which ad is actually performing better than the other?
Okay, so before now, what I used to do is instead of that's why I'm here. So before now, instead of testing spending money on creative, so what I do is I set up a campaign, and maybe with different ad sets or different ads, add the budget to it. Then the best performing one, I will allow it to run. Then the ones that are struggling, I shut it down. Let's say I have two creatives and I want to test which one works. So I can have one campaign, one ad set, then two ads, or one campaign, two ads, two ad sets with different ad level. Then the best performing one, I like to run. Though then when I was in the agency, this has not always been very effective because the same audience and audience overlap. So that's what I've always been doing. Yeah. Before now.
Okay. Sorry, just a minute. Let me leave it. Okay, let me just leave this. Okay, so I get that. Okay, so I just wanted to have an understanding of um, what this class like. Should I say what level we're at? Right? Are we just beginners, or I think I totally, not totally, but I think I get where we're at. So let's just continue. So I'm going to be sort of, should I use the word shaking a couple of things that we probably already learned, and also trying to rebuild, or yeah, that's the word, rebuild, some other things. Now, first thing is that I want you to know is, if you don't measure correctly, you can actually scale confidently. And I usually tell anybody I'm working with on any campaign or whatever, that number one rule is measure everything. Number two rule is measure everything correctly, because you can actually be measuring and not measuring correctly. Let me give you an instance. So there was a time that I was actually doing a campaign for it was like a gig, right? I was doing a campaign for a project, and I was trying to measure, how do I put this now? I was trying to measure, what do you call this thing now? I was trying to measure user signups, right? So it was basically for like a financial, yeah, let's just say fintech, not fintech especially. Basically, they teach about money. Yeah, that's the word. And they teach about money, yeah. And I was trying to measure people that have actually downloaded the app and people that have actually signed up. There are two differences. You can actually download the app and not sign up. And about maybe like 40 something days into the campaign, I've always been reporting people that just downloaded the app. And I did, like, in my head I was just thinking, oh, like in my head I thought I was tracking user sign up. I think I was just tracking app installs, right? And that's what I was always reporting. And I was basically, okay, so if, for instance, if I spend maybe 10 naira and I'm getting like 10 users, obviously you know now 1 naira per per user. That was in my head. I didn't know that I was actually reporting app installs. And so after like 2 months, I was supposed to give like a proper report to the management and things like that. And I was just confident, just blabbing, showing them everything. And the head of engineering just said, wait, to this thing you are reporting, is it user sign up or just app install? Because what they are seeing on their own dashboard is totally different. Right? So I then noticed that actually people are actually downloading the app, but they are not signing up, because sign up was a problem, it was a struggle for them. Right? So that's why I say you can actually measure, but you also need to measure correctly. You want to be able to, and aside from even just that kind of measurement I talked about, you also want to measure what is important for your business, right? I've seen a lot of people measure things like number of likes. I remember with the time, I think in 2021, I was running a campaign for all this study abroad company, and what they just wanted was people to like their post, and because so other agencies that work with them, used to. So immediately they launch their ad, you just notice that they're getting a lot of followers and a lot of, likes. And when I came on board, they were not getting a lot of likes, and they were wondering, is this guy doing anything at all? And I was just laughing because you're having a lot of likes and a lot of followers doesn't necessarily convert to what you're actually in at the end of the day, right? So you want to be able to measure what is really, really important for your business. I'm going to talk a lot on a couple of things tonight. So tonight we're going to talk about number one, how to set up consistent tracking, a consistent tracking system. Number two, how to build a single source of truth. I'm going to explain what that means. How to implement attribution models, how to use data for better decision, and how to troubleshoot tracking issues. Right. And I think that I'm not going to be doing a lot of slide this thing. I'm just going to be based on all of these things. I'm just going to be asking you what do you have problems with, and we can go around it. So if you think you have any problems around this, just drop the question in the chat box and we're going to be picking it one after the other, right? Let's quickly run through what I have, and then we can go into more, Q&A session, right? Because I believe that's where we would actually do a lot of the learning. All of this slide thing is just, and that's why I don't do a lot of slide design any longer, right? So Q&A is where we're going to really, really go deep into it. Now, first things first is, how do you build consistent tracking? Because one of the things that I'm sure that you most have noticed is, if you run like large scale campaigns, say you want to run, things like, acquisition campaigns, getting people to download an app, getting people to sign up, getting people to then take an action and things like that. One of the things that you might notice is, if you do maybe Google Ads, you do LinkedIn, you do TikTok and whatever, all of these different platforms actually have different ways that they do reporting. Let me give you an instance. Facebook reports something called first touch. Google reports last touch. What that means is, Facebook actually reports the first place, or the first platform that you I want to keep this very simple. I don't want to I don't want to use very, very big English. How do I do this? Okay, I'll try my best. So Facebook actually reports somebody sees an ad and decide, we're going to be using app downloads like for throughout this class, right? So just bear with me. So somebody sees an ad and then downloads the app, maybe on Instagram or Facebook. This person sees the ad on Facebook or Instagram and downloads the app, right? The question you want to ask yourself is, how do I attribute this? Because you might be running LinkedIn ads, you might be running TikTok ads, you might be sending emails to that person, you might be running Google ads, and maybe the person has seen your ad across all of these channels and then downloads the app. The question is, who takes that? Who takes the glory? Right? Sometimes Facebook might take it, sometimes Google might take it. So you're not exactly even clear on how to even report that kind of thing, because now you're probably spending 100,000 this is $100 on Google, you're spending $100 on Facebook, right? Somebody downloads your app, you don't know which channel gave you that particular download, right? So that's the first thing you also understand. All of these platforms report differently. For Facebook, they report first touch. Now, first touch means the first place that person actually saw your ad, right? Google reports last touch. Last touch is the last place that person saw your ad before they downloaded the app or before they took an action, right? And a lot of times, Google actually takes it like they attribute that last touch to themselves, right? So it doesn't care. Google doesn't care if somebody has seen it on Facebook before and then sees it on YouTube and then downloads the ad. They will take that glory. However, for Facebook, if somebody have seen it on Google before, saw it on Facebook and downloaded it, they will actually attribute they will not attribute that download to themselves, because that was not the platform or the place that the person really, really saw the ad and then used to take that action, right? But what I just want you to understand tonight is that all of these different platforms actually attribute differently. So don't think that because you are running Facebook ads and you are seeing 500 conversion on that Facebook ads, that's those 500 conversion actually came from Facebook, especially if you are running ads on multiple channels, right? So that's number one thing I want you to understand. Now, quickly moving on. One of the ways I then used to keep track, and that's why I call it the first layer of consistency, is I use something called UTMs. And just like somebody, I don't know the person I mentioned it. I'm going to teach you how to use UTMs tonight. And interestingly, I also learned how to use UTMs from Treford, not like from Treford teaching, but like from my manager at Treford, right? Now, the powerful thing or the most beautiful thing about UTM is that it actually helps you track campaigns across multiple channels. Let me not talk too much. Let me show you how it actually works. Right. So if you have never heard about UTM before, right? All you just need to do is go to GA forward slash. Let me just copy this and paste it in the chat so that you can get it. Okay. Or just Google something like Google Campaign Builder, right? You get it. Now, the amazing thing about UTMs is if you've ever searched for something, you know what? Let me just share my entire screen. Let me share my entire screen so that we can switch. We can switch as we want. Okay, great. Okay, now if you've ever Googled or if you've ever searched for, let's look for something. What can we search for? Okay, let me search for
Waka now.
Waka now. Okay, let's try for Waka now. I don't know if they're running ads currently. Okay, they're running ads. Great, great, great. So I want to show you. Hopefully they have it. Okay, perfect. They do have it. Now, if let's go. Okay, let's go back to that Waka now. So this is search ads, right? This is what they're currently doing. Okay, then why can't I find it again? Anyways, they're running search ads. So when I clicked on it, normally it should show me www.wakanow.com as the URL, right? But if you look at this URL, you will notice that it's very long. This is www.wakanow, ENNG brand Wakanow, GAD source, those long things. Now, you as a marketer must actually understand, see how long this URL is. Normally, it's not supposed to be long, right? It's supposed to be just something like this. Let me open it up. Let's see. Good. It's supposed to just be wakanow.com. But the question is, why is it as long as this? That's because they're actually running a campaign and they're tracking with UTM. And UTMs are actually the best ways to actually attribute. To actually attribute, number one, actually measure what matters. Or no, measure correctly, basically, not what measure what matters. Let me explain how it works to you. So what you want to do is you are running your, say, Google Ads, and you want to actually know if somebody saw your ad, clicked on it from Facebook, and actually did take an action that you wanted them to take, either download the app, fill a form, whatever, make payment, and things like that. So what you want to do is you go to this URL builder. I just call it URL builder, right? Or people call it different name, whatever the name is, just URL builder. And we can take your no, don't allow, okay, block. You can take your URL, so it can be anything, emmanuel.com, louis.com, whatever it is. Take your URL, paste it here. Now, a lot of times I don't fill campaign IDs, I just leave it blank. Source, what I like to do for my source. So the question is, where is that traffic? The way I think about it is, where is that traffic coming from? right? Where is that traffic coming from? Is it coming from my Google ads? Is it coming from my Facebook ads? Is it coming from my TikTok ads? Wherever it's coming from, I just put it there. And okay, I'll think about this later. So there's something I call a tracking sheet. So I have a tracking sheet where it's like a Google sheet. Somebody, can you mute your mic? Sorry, I thought somebody's unmuted. Okay, thank you. So I call it a tracking sheet because that sheet I just basically use it to, you know, sort of unify my UTM codes. I'm going to explain that later. I've said I'm going to explain a lot of things later. Anyways, so like I said, you want to know where your traffic is coming from. So a lot of time I just use Facebook ads, right? This is what I use most of the time. If I open some of the sheets that I have, you will see it here. Source equals to FB ads. If it is Google, I just do Google ads. If it is TikTok, I just do TikTok. Tik. How do you put TikTok again? TikTok ads, whatever it is, right? So let's stick to Facebook ads. Facebook ads. Now my medium is now this is very tricky, right? Because a lot of times some people use okay. Let's go back to this thing. Okay, great. Um so if you look at this, their own what's it called now? UTM, you will see ad source. No, why is that one very different like this? What parameter they using here? Okay, let me look for something else that's easier. Let's search for Grammarly. I'm sure that Grammarly most likely be running ads. They're always running ads. They're not running this one. They're not running. Okay, let's look for uh AI video. Let's let's search for this. Okay, somebody's running ads. Yeah, so let's hopefully they have okay, hopefully they have okay, great. Yeah, they have one. So this is it. Now you can see UTM source is what? Google. That's what they are using, right? That's what they are using. The source is Google. UTM's medium is CPC, cost per click. And then UTM campaign is this code that they already have. UTM content is also this code that they already have. And then the others is whatever. UTM 10, AI 20, AI video generator, keyword, blah, blah, blah. And if you also keep checking, you might see some other things that is interesting. Now, that is what some people use. For me, I like to switch it. And it really just depends on you. Me, I like to switch it, right? My own medium, I like to also then call it proper like Facebook, right? This is what me I like to do. But for you, it can be different. And that's why I say that it's important that you actually have a tracking sheet. So that sheet, let me see if I can pull out. I think I have one that I used to use for Treford back then. Hopefully I still find it. Let me pull it out for you. UTM. UTM. Uh, Sorry, I think the net is just a bit slow. Okay, yep, this is it. This is one. Okay. Huh? I can't find this one. I was actually trying to pull out. I don't think it's this one. I think this was the previous one. But you can see our, so what we used to do was, you can see our own source was different. So source is blog, emails, paid Facebook. See, me, I've always been using FB ads since whatever, Instagram, whatever. And then we used to have, okay, yeah, aha. We used to then have, so I think that we used to label our own medium, either organic, paid, or whatever back then. So anyway, it just really depends on you and what is convenient for you, right? But me, I just label my own this, right? Now again, it depends on the company or the business, whatever it is. Then your campaign name is very simple. What campaign are you running, right? For instance, if I'm running maybe like a app install, so I cannot see app install in how do you spell it? Okay, app install. Um, or I can just be specific. I can say October app installs, or again you can say maybe Independence Day promo. It just depends on you, whatever you want to name your this thing, right? Your content, if you are using videos, if you are using designs, whatever it is, then you want to also label your video, right? So if it is video one, maybe you want to test out 3D. Okay, maybe you have the same video, for instance, but you have different hooks. Maybe the first video starts from you saying, do you know you can actually learn forex in the next 30 days? That's how the first one started. The second one started by, if you want to make 3 million naira in the next 30 days. The third one started from by you saying, forex trading is the best way to make money in the next 30 days. Those are three different hooks. You want to test out which one drives more traffic for you or whatever. You can then label them video one, video two, video three. So it depends on you. You can just let's just say video one. So if you notice I skipped this, I don't impute term. And I think if you notice this person, I think they imputed term. Yeah, you can see UTM term, right? They labeled it AI video generator keyword, whatever. It just really depends on you and how you like to do things. Once you're done, you copy this entire link, right? And this is now the link you will now paste on your Facebook ads. So let me just quickly show you. Let's say you have created a Facebook ads. Let me just quickly open something. Let's just say you want to run in maybe app promotion, right? Continue. Hope you guys can still see my screen. Okay, so can anybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So destination, oh no, let me use, okay. Anyway, so let's just say this thing. You can then, this is where you put your link. You can also control V. So this is exactly where obviously it's not going to work because this is the deep link. This is not a deep link link. And let's use let me use let's use traffic campaign. Continue. Then add link. Yeah. So this is just this control V, right? So when you preview this URL, you will notice that so whenever somebody clicks, you can see our own UTM, whatever. This is how it then looks, right? But it's still going back to our canal. So if I use this particular link on my ads, right, you can then go back to your Google Analytics and then filter by source. That's the amazing, that's what I was talking about. That's the amazing thing. You can filter by source, you can filter by medium, campaign name, and whatever, and just see what exactly is driving traffic for you. So let me quickly switch to something. I'm not supposed to share this, but let's just use it quickly. Okay, let me, you know what, let's use on that one because it's sensitive data actually. uh, Let me see if I have one Google Analytics that is not that I'm not using. Oh, okay. I should be on my second laptop, but let me just check. Let's just check. Let's just see if I have any analytics tool here or analytics here. Mm, I would have actually loved to share that, but I don't think I have any accounts on here. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Okay, maybe we'll come back to this while it loads. Right, but anyways, that's just a very simple way to use your UTM tracker or whatever, whatever. At the end of your or during your campaign, you can just go to your Google Analytics, filter out, okay, where's traffic coming from, where's this one coming from, and things like that, and you're able to properly see, all of those things, right? Yeah. So now, if you notice throughout my UTM, I use small letter throughout, right? So make sure you actually okay. I think that's from this. Let me just put V, right? So just make sure that you actually use, and that's the like standard. Use lowercase. Standardize your naming. Yeah, this is what I want to talk about. Standardize your naming, and that's why it's important that you actually have a spreadsheet, right? Have a spreadsheet and say, for my campaigns, how do I want to actually name them? So that the reason why is so that you will not go and use FB ads today. Tomorrow you are using Facebook, you are writing it in full Facebook ads. Next tomorrow you are writing FB slash, and then you then want to go and check your analytics and see that you are not actually tracking the right thing. I don't think this is not up to date. I don't have any account that is up to date. Okay, so I might not be able to use anyone. Okay, let me see if I can just use this. This is not correct, but let's just see if I can use this. So again, like I said, you can just go to your what's wrong? Uh, Something is wrong. Anyways, maybe we'll come back to this. Is this what should show like this? But come back to this. Okay, so anyways, that's what I was talking about. So just have a spreadsheet, make sure your name is standardized and you're good to go. Right. Now that's like I said, that's actually the first layer for consistency, because if you follow my train of thought, the problem with tracking is number one, all of these different platforms that you're actually running ads on, they are going to be giving you different data. So what is then the solution to that? Number one is have a like consistent this thing. You don't want to go and be using Facebook Facebook data that's going to be telling you, oh, you have 50 conversions. You are using Google, it's also telling you have 25. When you check your real dashboard, maybe again app installs, you are then checking your Disney. You don't have up to 70 Disney, you're having 35, right? So just to make sure that you are actually tracking the correct thing, one thing is you want to have your UTM parameters, right? Then let's talk a bit on conversion event and pixels. I'm sure that some of you must understand what pixels are and conversion events, right? Um for Facebook, Google, and things like that, before you run your campaign, you want to first of all set up your pixels, right? And pixels are super important because it gives you an idea of what your ads that you're running and the data on that particular campaign, right? So especially when you're sending people outside of that platform. So when you're doing things like instant forms or whatever, you don't really need a pixel. You're getting people to your WhatsApp, you don't really need a pixel. But if you're trying to get people to download an app, fill a form, go to a landing page, to do something externally, especially maybe with your website or whatnot, you want to be sure that you have a pixel in place. I don't know if it's just me or the network is just a bit slow. What's the problem? Okay, great. So it's back. So, and setting up a pixel is pretty easy. Um, if you want to set it up by yourself, you don't exactly need to be very technical. You just need to probably have maybe WordPress or a what's it called now? Something that can just basically help you install it, right? Or you can just have the pixel and send it to your maybe engineer. But again, just know that engineering team will waste your time, right? So how do you set up pixels for maybe Facebook? Let's use Facebook because it's like the easiest. You might just want to click on create a new whatever, connect data. Um, why is this thing just super slow? Okay, great. Okay, great. So whatever it is, if you want to set up for web app, whatever it is, your CRM, right? So let's just do for web. Click on web, click on next, right? Then name it. Um, it's just really slow. I think I might just be saying this on my head. Anyway, so just give your pixel a name. Then it's going to give you a code, right? It's going to give you a code. Copy that code and just go and paste it in whatever. Let me give you a quick. Let me show you something real quick. So, for instance, for people like us that like to not stress our engineering team, and they will also not we don't also like engineering team wasting our time, right? We have things like landing page builders helps us that helps us quickly build quick landing pages, right? So, for instance, um, we have maybe like a landing page that we want to add our pixel to, right? So once you're done with your pixel, just go to your landing page. Let me just go to one. Okay, so I can just come to my landing page and then add it on my landing page quickly. Now, what will then happen is just a minute, it's just a bit slow. Okay, I think I might just switch my internet. Don't know why it's slow. Okay, just give me 1 minute. Let me switch my internet. Okay, can anybody confirm me? Can anybody confirm that they can hear me?
We can
Oh,
hear you.
yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. I think I'm back. My internet has just been. I don't know if it is our brothers in the yellow company. Okay, even this one is terrible. Okay, I think it's better. Okay, I think I might just need to just do away with. I'd actually love to show you a lot of things, but again, internet. So, anyways, once you copy the code, you paste it on your website. Now you are then able to sort of track you're then able to, okay, somebody's saying network. Oh, Isabella, I can see your chat. You said the marketer running this ad, yeah, they will see one link or one landing page visit, but we're not doing anything. They should come up, Then I can also see in the chat, can a UTM parameter be linked to automate the data? Yeah. Can a UTM, what does, can a UTM parameter be linked to a Google spreadsheet? Yes, but I wouldn't exactly recommend it. Um, again, okay, I think I'm going to get there, but again, it really just depends on what exactly you want to track. For me, I just want to leave my 25 people visit my landing page. All those, I want to leave it to Google Analytics and maybe the dashboard of the ad manager I'm running from. What is important for me is what I want to see on my spreadsheet or my dashboard. And let me show you a bit of what I'm talking about. So definitely you can do all of those whatever, but now look at this dashboard. This is Lucas Studio, right? Yes, impression is great, links, but what I'm really interested in is sign up, cost per sign up, and all of these important ones, right? I don't want to check what ad is actually my top ad creative, right? And also like some other things like that. That's like what is really important to me. So all those other serene of this one, that one, I can leave it to, like landing page, blah blah blah. I can leave it to Google Analytics, right? So I hope that answers the question. So I don't know why this is not loading. It has just been bouncing. Anyways, let's just leave it behind. So as I was saying, the pixels just basically helps you do all of those tracking. Somebody clicks on your ad, right? Your Facebook is going to tell you, oh, 500 people did this, and things like that. Let me go back to my ads manager, and hopefully I'm able to see what I want to show you. It's also slow. Okay, so maybe when it loads, I'll show you. So yeah, that is the amazing thing about Pixel, right? Now, another thing I want to talk about that a lot of people then miss is the fact that they don't actually have pixels installed or event at every stage of their funnel. Now, you are tracking people that are visiting your website. Great. But you're not exactly tracking important details on your website. That's another problem I've seen, right? So let's use maybe like let's go back to that Waka now. Interesting. Waka now will be happy that we're getting traffic this night, too. Right? So, now imagine somebody is tracking people that are landing on this page, but they're not tracking important details like search. That'll be a problem, right? Because I want that means before I can click on this button search, I must have done something here, and that's actually an important metric for me to know. Oh, when people are landing on my page, what exactly are they doing, right? I want to probably check. I want to also probably measure this book now button and things like that. So all of these things are very, very, very important for you to measure and track. Like I said, track everything, but track everything, track the most important things, right? Track everything, right? And report the most important things. Let me use that word. So again, it's not just enough for you to say, "Oh, I've installed Pixels to maybe the home page," and that's another thing I've seen. You want to some people just install Pixels for just the home page. What about places like okay, let me use this. Let's go and use Trefford page. Right, let's go and use Trefford Africa. So imagine a marketer at Trefford, right, tracking just the home page, right? But you're not tracking important details like let's go to where's that boot camp? I think I have okay, I think I have this. Sorry, my network that is slow. Hey, all courses. This is also a very, very, very important page, right? And that's like I said, that's one of the things I've seen people do. They just track only the home page, and they're like, okay, let's just see number of people that visited my landing page, and my whatever. Important pages like courses, live sessions, and things like that. Track signing, track everything basically. Track as many things as possible, right? Okay, I think I already talked about attribution and why it's important, right? Like I said, platforms actually over credit themselves, right? Without attributions, you might scale the wrong channel. You might think, oh, Facebook is the one giving you the best result. You might think, oh, whatever is giving the best result, right? But you're not exactly sure. You can use tools like AppsFlyer, especially if you're having like a product, a digital product that you sell, maybe like an app or whatnot, right? Tools like AppFlyer actually attribute properly for you. You see which channel is actually driving the acquisition that you want, right? Now, like I told you earlier, me, I don't usually track, like I track everything, but there are some things that are really, really important to me, and that's what really differentiates me and some other people. Yes, you are tracking landing page visible and things like that, but you also want to track metrics that actually matter. Like I said, I've already said it before. Metrics that actually matter to me as a marketer, number one, is my cost per acquisition. Now, cost per acquisition is not the same thing as customer acquisition cost. This is where I asked the question, and I want to pledge 5K airtime to somebody, the first person that can actually answer me correctly. What is the difference between CPA and CAC? First person to raise up hand is, and if you can get it correctly, what is the difference between CAC and CPA? Well, I'm sure we're marketers on this call, right? What is the difference between, okay, Gbemileke, let's go. And give me a proper example. Difference between CPA and CAC. Let's go. Unmute your mic, please.
Give me 8 minutes, sorry. Hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, everyone. All right. So, CAC and CPA. So, let me start with the definition so that we can get it clearly. So, CAC means customer acquisition costs, and CPA means cost per acquisition. So, definitely, for CPA, so what we are measuring is like how much it really costs us to acquire a paying customer. That's for me. Why for
That's for
CPA
what?
is that's the cost per action, like cost per action. The CPA is like cost per action. So
Okay.
it's measuring the cost of getting someone to take a specific action. So
Okay.
breaking it down or using a sample. So for an instance, let's say if my CPA is uh, let's say I want to get 2,000 customers. So that means my CPA will be like 1 million naira. And that means I'm spending 500 naira I'll spend 500 naira to acquire 2,000 customers. Then for CPA, is like measuring it is the cost of getting someone to take an action. It might be to sign up for a course. It might be to install an application. It might be to download a lead magnet, but CPA is the cost of acquiring that person or making that person to take a desired action. So, in a nutshell, CPA is like the total cost of getting a customer. Then, sorry, CAC is total cost of getting a customer or acquiring a customer. While CPA is the cost of the cost of getting the customer to take an action, because the customer might sign up just like you said earlier. Someone might download an application, which is an action, but might not sign up. So that's CPA. But if the person signs up and the person install the apps and signs up, that means they've taken action, which is want them to sign up after downloading the app. That is CAC. Let me rest my case here.
Hmm. Hmm. Hey, Emmanuel, you're sounding like as if you're in Edo State, too, and your device is in Lagos. Like, can you
Okay.
use? Okay, who's speaking now?
It's me. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, let's
Okay,
go.
so my system. So let me explain what I understand. You give me 10,000 naira to run ads, right? Or let's
How
say
much?
1,000 naira. That's what
Okay.
I spend on ads,
Yeah,
and
bro.
and I
Sorry.
got 10 messages. That means my CPA is 100 naira, right? That's my cost per acquisition to get those people to send me message. That's 10. That's
Mhm.
10 naira. Sorry, 100 naira. That's my
Mhm.
cost per lead. If I want to get message, right? But if I now maybe I'm selling bags, right? And out of those 10 leads that I got, two of them bought.
Thing. Oh, yeah, punch.
Out of those
I
10
punch my
messages,
hand.
two of them
Mhm.
bought, and my bag is, let's say, 500 naira, right?
Mhm.
Those people now bought the bag. The amount of money so I will not say I spent 1,000 naira to get 10 leads. That's CPA. But I
Mhm.
spent 1,000 naira to get two people to buy my bag of 1,000 naira. So my cost per CAC is 500 naira because I got only two people to buy the product. Yeah. So
Okay.
CA,
Okay. So CA, finish it up, please.
uh,
I can't hear you again now.
You're punching me. Oh,
Who is
I'm
who
in
is
night
speaking?
class, so no go. So yeah.
Bemileke, we can hear you. Can somebody mute him?
Oh, sorry.
Who is punching you? Tell them sorry.
Sorry,
Okay, so
I'm at the clinic. I came for a checkup. Sorry.
okay, great. So Lydia, do you agree? Who do you agree with, Bemileke or Emmanuel?
Well, I think that Bimleke was more I think it was more expressive, to be honest. So, and I could relate to what he was saying. So I would say Bimleke because my own definition is also pretty close. So yes.
So is it Bemileke or Emmanuel? Emmanuel just finished speaking just now. So who
Yes,
was
I know.
more?
I know.
Okay.
Bimleke is on, yes, it's him.
Okay, so you okay, I get that. Who else want to who else is agreeing with what Bimileke said and what Emmanuel said? Let me just understand. Who else? I'll start calling names. So there are people in this life I've not heard their voice. Like Dami Adams, I've not heard your voice. I've not heard who is Daniel. I've not heard Daniel. I've not heard Shayo. I've not heard Ikma. I've not heard Shion. Okay, very good. Let's start from Shion. Shion and Daniel. Who are you agreeing with? Emmanuel or Bemileke? Okay, Daniel said I agree with Bemileke. What's going on? Shion, who are you agreeing with? Oh, Emmanuel said, "Man, were you raising your hand since?" Okay. I can see somebody. This is, I don't know. Okay, let me just use Antonia. CAC involves the company expenses involving a marketing campaign. I don't understand that English. Oh. What do you mean by company expenses involving a marketing campaign? So, as a marketer now, okay, let's ask this question now. As a marketer, which one is your core metric? Which one should you really, from your campaign? You're running ads across wherever. Which one are you supposed to track? CPA. Why? Antonia, why are you tracking CPA? Gemileke, why? Okay, I see it. I think I already explained. Emmanuel said both. Hmm. Daniel, let's hear from you. Can you unmute your mic where you are?
Okay, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. So why is CPA your own core metric?
Um, Basically, when you are running a campaign or from any other platform, Meta or any other platform, you have a goal. You have a specific campaign goal. Maybe you want them to visit your website. You want them to download an app. You want them to fill a form, or whatever it is. So once they carry out that action, your campaign is, as you can, at least me, I can record my campaign as successful. So yes, I can
Okay,
record my
okay.
campaign as successful for that particular period of time. Then we can now
Mhm.
have more. I can now start reporting and say, okay, we need to keep, for the business sake, for the sake of the business, we need to keep running other campaigns, maybe like a retargeting ad or something like that. That's why people have series of campaigns, if you notice. So I can now recommend to the business or the business owner that we need to run other kind of campaigns to build on this success that we already have. That's how I see it. It's based on
Mhm.
your goal. It's based on your marketing goal. And this is specifically for paid campaigns or paid ads. So if I'm running as a marketer that is running paid ads, CPA is what I will measure or prioritize over CS. That's what.
Okay, okay, I get that. I get that. So to be honest, right, so that we'll not waste time. To be honest, there is actually no right answer. There's no right or wrong answer, right? It really just depends on you and the business, right? So just like what Ikma said that. Okay, so before I even go into that, just like I mean, Emmanuel and Bemileke were actually correct, but I think Emmanuel just sort of expanded on it. So CPA is just your cost per action or cost per acquisition. Let again using the example of app installs, right? Using the example of app installs, if you probably are spending 2 million naira, right, and you at the end of the campaign you're able to get 10,000 downloads, right? Your cost per acquisition is just your 2 million naira divided by 10,000 users. However, cost per, I like to call it basically cost per customer conversion. That's the way I put it in my head, right? Is how much did I then spend totally for me to be able to get one customer to actually pay me money or one user to actually pay me money, right? So again, maybe you then did extra things like you called the customer, you visited them in their house, you bought bag of rice for them, you paid their children's school fees, all those plenty things. You then calculate all that plus your marketing costs, right? You then divide it by how many people actually converted at the end of the day. You then use to get your cost CAC basically, right? Now, the reason why I said that it depends on you and the organization really is it's just it depends on your role and what you are really involved in, right? For instance, there's a company that I currently do a couple of things for, and today, like just today, me based on my strategy, I was measuring CAC. Today, they said that what the marketing team is involved in is just generate quality leads. I say, you not see God. So now I don't care about if people convert or not. I just need to focus on getting them qualified leads, right? So my own core metric would then be CPA. I don't care about CAC any longer. I've thrown it away, right? Yes, that's interesting. So, so as I say, it really just depends on you and your business goal and what you're supposed to really do, right? And there's another business that if you don't get conversions, there's a problem. So that's my goal is how much do we spend, and I'm trying to keep it. I'm trying to keep it under 2,000 naira. Right. So that means that when I'm running ads, my cost per acquisition should not be more than maybe 700, 1,000. So that when I do other things, I give them, they like probably I give them free, whatever, just to get them to do something. I do this for them, I do that for them. My email, whatever, all the things I later spend on, aside from just getting somebody to download the app, all those other things I spend on, I need to done make sure that they are below 2,000 naira. So again, there's no right or wrong answer. So now how do we share the gift now? We'll talk about how we share the gift after this session. I think Esther would be the one to judge. So who do we give the gift now? The airtime, 5,000 airtime. Should we give Daniel? Sorry, not Daniel. Not Daniel. Eh? Daniel, you are the struggle. Should we give Emmanuel or should we give Gemelike? We'll talk about it later. So again, I think we have spent time. So let me just quickly rush this and so that we can go. So metrics that actually matter to you as a marketer, CPA, obviously, return on ad spend, customer lifetime value, and then CAC. I mean, I'm sure that most of us already know some of these things, right? Now, I then talk a bit about how to double down with channels. Basically, it depends on what you have been tracking earlier on and what your attribution says, right? So if you're probably tracking with things like AppsFlyer, and you're noticing that actually the people that you get, and that's why I said it's important that you actually really track and you go deep into data. Let me give you this scenario. If you're sort of using AppsFlyer, for instance, and your Google campaign is telling you that it's actually the best channel budget wise and things like that. However, you notice that the people you actually get from Facebook, even though maybe it's probably more expensive, but you just notice that the quality of those users are actually giving you, they actually have high LTV. It then depends on how you interpret this. Let me explain what I mean. You got 500 people from Google, right? Probably all the total money they spent on them, maybe they spent 10,000 naira. However, you got just 2 people from Facebook and they're very expensive for you to get, and they're spending 20,000 naira. What you want to focus on is what you want to do is not to kill the channel that is expensive. You want to be able to then figure out how to actually reduce your costs and still maintain the quality of the guys, right? I saw this argument on Twitter one time where a founder, please don't misquote me, a founder was actually saying that he fired, was it that he fired his marketers or something like that um because they were arguing with, not that they were arguing, but they were always focused on the lead quality over the cost per acquisition, right? And I just thought that this person is not exactly wise. So again, lead quality, the conversation around lead quality or app user quality or whatever versus the cost should not even be a conversation. If you want something quality, you spend money. So that's why I usually advise that when you are doing your tracking and whatnot, you notice that yes, maybe a channel is more expensive than another channel, but you notice that the quality of these guys is better than this. Please don't kill that channel or don't kill that campaign, right? Keep it running and just figure out how to actually bring down the costs, right? And that's why I said use attribution insights to scale assist channels. You don't want to shut a channel down because it's more expensive. You want to understand this channel, even though it's expensive, is it really doing, is it beneficial to me? Right? This is the way I think whenever um I'm running campaigns. Right now, there are a couple of things that I also want to talk about that they are not here, right? And it's around tracking, troubleshooting. I like to use the word troubleshooting. Um, and it's as simple as this: when you're running your ads and you notice that your ads actually reaching a lot of people, however, people are not clicking on the ad, just know that there's a problem there. That's number one. Number two is they are clicking on the ads, but they are not landing on your page. If you're using like a website, know that there's also another problem there. Number three is they are landing on your page, but they're not taking the action you want them to take. There's a problem there. And how do you know what problem it? How do you know what problem how do I say this in English? How do you know what the problem is? Right. So at the end of the day, it's not just about, oh, my heart is not converting or whatnot, or I'm not getting the right insight on this data, whatever. There's something called troubleshooting. And I like to use that word troubleshooting. Now let's go back to the beginning. You have seen that your heart is actually running, but people are not clicking on it. Just know that it's a creative problem. You're not seeing the right things. If you're using design, if you're using video, just understand that something is missing there. Because yes, people are seeing it, but they're not clicking on it. Or so two things. It can be a creative problem or it can be a targeting problem. Maybe you're not targeting the right set of people. Example is you're selling an apartment of £1 billion and you're targeting people that probably earns £1 million. How do you want them to relate? They cannot relate because they're going to see your ad. Oh, nice. They'll just nice and move on. They'll keep it moving. So just understand that it can either be a creative problem or a targeting problem. Now they are seeing it, they're clicking on it, but they're not landing on your page. It's a very simple one. Your your website or your landing page is slow to load. Right? It's as simple as that. They are landing on your page, but they are not taking the action you want them to take. Two things. Either you're not targeting the right people, or the copy on your landing page is not, they are not, people cannot relate to it. It's not convincing enough and things like that. Right. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that before I go into this. Now, common tracking mistakes that people make. Number one is broken pixels, right? And I mean, this is not a real occurrence, but it happens. You have created your pixel. Sometimes, for instance, sometimes I use Google Tag Manager because I don't want to disturb my engineering team, right? I use Google Tag Manager. And sometimes maybe somebody has just gone to tamper with it, right? So I just noticed that, oh, my pixels are not firing any longer. So what I like to do is, if I run a campaign, maybe October independent, I run a very serious campaign. October, this independence campaign or this customer service week that's coming up, I run a very serious, aggressive campaign. By the time I want to run the next aggressive campaign, I need to make sure that I go back to check all of my stuffs, basically my pixels, are they firing, whatnot, right? Number two is duplicate event, and oh god, I still spoke to somebody last month around this duplicate event, right? You are tracking, you have created an event, sign up. You are then saying app installs again. For those two events, do the same thing. There's no need for that. Just have a single event that tracks the same thing, right? So duplicate events, don't do that. Number three is wrong UTM parameters, and that's why I said that it's important you actually have like a spreadsheet to know, okay, whenever I'm running campaigns like this, what parameters do I use? Do I use FBR? Do I use this? Do I use that? Whatever. Do that. The conversion. This one is not really like a thing like that. So yeah, that one is just by the way. CRM versus ad data mismatch, and that's why I said that use UTM parameters and also use things like attributions. Right. Sometimes if you're connected to a CRM like Hotspot or whatnot, you might be seeing a particular figure, and on your ads manager you are seeing another figure. That's another tracking problem. So the best solution is just use your UTM parameters, use attribution um, tools, right? So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to share tonight. I hope you have learned a thing or two. Now this is the time for question and answer. I think we'll just be able to take maybe one or two questions and we'll call it a day. But we've been speaking since 7 o'clock, so yes, let's just quickly do a couple of things. So I think I'll just take the first two people that ask questions. Let me check the chat. Is there anything in the chat? If I can learn Google Tag Manager. Okay, we should share between them. Okay, let's visit the boxing ring. Interesting. If you can, so Google Tag Manager is not that difficult. That's the interesting thing is if you understand tags, triggers, and events, you are pretty good, right? Tags, triggers, and events. You are like I think for me that's the way I learned it. I just once I understood those things, I didn't just need to figure out how to do one or two, right? And yeah, that's pretty much. I can send you the video I used to learn. I mean, and that's another thing. It's not something that you learn and you are done for life. No, even me, that I still get confused sometimes. I go back. See, YouTube is my best teacher, right? I just go to check YouTube. I just go to check YouTube. So I can send you a video that I use or that I used to use because I visit it all the time, right? So yeah. Okay, what do you use in tracking user registrations? What does user registrations for app install? What does that mean? From platform to platform. I don't understand the question. Ikma, can you unmute your mic? Can you unmute your mic and explain further?
Okay, can you hear me?
100%.
All right.
Yes, we can hear
So,
you.
for example, you've been tracking like app installs, right? From let's say you're using Meta or Google, right? And then you really want to track, app installations, those platforms are going to give you their own numbers. But at the end of the day, you are tracking those people that actually signed up, not just app installs, right? So, how do you track from platform to platform that, oh, this came from Google, this came from Meta, or, that's what I mean.
Yeah, so that's why things are there's something called an attribution tool, right? And again, the best one I've used is AppsFlyer, right? So you can actually use AppsFlyer. It's going to tell you this install came from here, this person came from here, and things like that. And then the amazing thing is maybe with product analytics tools like Mixpanel, Mixpanel, maybe Amplitude, right? You might also then be able to sort of put them into cohorts. Right. So maybe for instance, maybe you did a particular campaign maybe for 7 days and you got a specific like user whatever. You can just create like a cohort. And I'm sure that you understand what cohort is. I wanted to explain it further, but I'm sure that you understand what it means. But like just let me I like to use the word classroom. So you put people into a classroom or into a box and then you then later on you check out whatever they did, who churned and things like that, right? So yeah, just use Asplier for attributions. It's going to tell you where this one came from, where that one came from, and things like that. And then you can use that to even track across over a long period of time.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I got that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Another thing that I wanted to ask is that, with the issue of iOS 14 tracking iPhone users, right? It's really, really something these
Mhm.
days, right? How do you deal with irregularities in data attribution?
Okay, so to be honest, Apple has been troubling us, but I just basically rely on my UTMs and figuring out on Google Analytics. That's what I use basically. I don't I don't stress myself with oh my god, one thing, right? As long as two things I can and okay, a lot of I'm sure that you do a lot of maybe app install campaigns, right? One of the things I do, right, is to make sure that I don't send people directly to my app install to my app store. Yeah, to my app store, either Apple Store or Google Play Store. I don't send them directly. And the reason is I want to also sort of have their what's it called? Their information picked up on my pixel. So I send them to a landing page. Right. But again, I don't really disturb myself on oh my god, one thing. As long as I can get people to my landing page or to my website, I'm sort of good. I can always retarget them and things like that. There was a time that I also, maybe like 2 years ago, I can't remember the name of that tool now. I can't remember the name of that tool. So basically, once you can get people to your landing page, it automatically, I don't know how they do it, and I don't know if it is legal. Right? I didn't say it here. Please don't quote me anywhere. I can't remember the name of the tool, anyways. It just sort of picks their date, their email address. I can't remember the name of that tool now. It's a very, very solid one, right? So as long as you can get to a landing page or to a website, basically, it is just pick. I don't know how it does. It just pick your email address. So I can then use that to retarget you and whatnot, and things like that. So yeah, mention tracking. No, it's not Apollo. Is it ever? So I can't remember. I can't remember the name of that tool now. I will probably check for it. You mentioned tracking different events on a website. For instance, you have a Google tag on your landing, how do you track? Let me read this question properly. Something is blocking here. Okay. You mentioned tracking events on a website. If, for instance, you have a Google tag on your landing page, how do you track different events such as search, booking, etc. with etc. differently with respect to the website we use? You mean how do I track it on my own website versus the website I showed, the Wakana website I showed? Is that what you're saying, Grace?
Oh, okay. It was when we visited Wakana, you were mentioning that you could actually track for search, track for bookings and all. So I was just asking that, for instance, you already have a Google tag on your landing page. So how do you track those events differently?
Oh, wait. Okay, so Facebook has like an event manager, whatever, too, that also sort of does the tracking, right? So let me see if I can bring out something. Should it be under event manager? Yeah, it should be under event manager. So for Facebook especially, um, I don't. So I use both. What's it called now? Google events, like conversion event, and also the Facebook event itself, right? Again, network is just terrible. It's not loading all of these things. Because I wanted to show you something. So when you have created your pixels and all of those things, there's a way on Facebook that you can, I'm sure that, I don't know if you know, but there's a way you can actually track your own event. Like, oh, you want to see how many people actually clicked on things like search, on things like book now, and things like that. Now, oh, by the way, so while this is loading, let me mention something to you, which I think I already mentioned during the course of the when I was speaking. But when you have a landing page or your website, what am I using landing page? Let me just use landing page. Make sure that your action buttons are sort of have the same call to action copy. Let me use that word. Now you can see. Let me see if Shreford is also doing the same thing. Okay, perfect. They're also doing it. So you can see that, and this button is the same thing, to be honest. Enroll now, enroll. So some people don't use enroll today, enroll ASAP, enroll. Don't do that. Have the same copy for your action buttons, right? Especially if it does the same thing. Sign in, sign up. Yeah, they do different things. So you don't want to use, you want to use separate whatever, because when you're signing, it's basically different, right? But what I'm trying to say is I've seen a lot of, sometimes when I check out websites, you know, they are they are using different copies or action, whatever, for things that do the same thing. I don't know if you understand what I mean. While this is loading, it's still not loaded. So if you check Waka now, you see this book now. If you want to track a button like book now, some people then use book now. Some people will here apply, visitors. All these buttons are doing the same thing. please make sure that it's the same. Just use book now, book now, book now. Or if you want to use apply now, apply. Just make sure it's the same thing, because at the end of the day, when somebody clicks here, somebody clicks here, it does the same thing. Right. So just wanted to mention that. Oof, why is this thing taking a lot of time? Man. Apologies though, it's just taking so much time. Wow. No, it's still loading. Oh my god. Will I be able to show you tonight? Um okay, I think it's loading. Okay, so on this is what I was talking about on Facebook. You have events. Can you please load? Okay. Yeah. It's not showing what I want to show. Okay, perfect. So on my based, I've created my obviously I've used my Google tags to create. Um, let me open this URL. Hopefully, it loads. Crowd funding dots. I won't remember the URL. Quick remit limited dots. Okay. So why this loads? Obviously, from my Google, perfect. From my Google, whatever, I'm tracking things like events the quick remit. So you can see my call to action button, events the quick remit, is same thing as this one, events the quick remit, the same thing as events the quick remit. I'm not using different whatever. Right now, obviously, again on my from my Google tag and whatnot, I've created events. I can name this one whatever, sign up or whatever it is. However, because again I want to make sure that it does the same thing, or it's basically giving me almost the same this thing. um you can see that I labeled, if I check this now, this initial checkout is the same thing as my sign up from Google, right? But this, I can see all of these events right on Facebook too, and then I'm then able to, though I'm not running ads again, so that's why you can see that no recent activity. I'm no longer running ads for all of these things. So I'm then able to check, okay, initial checkout and the one on Google, is it almost the same thing? Is it close? Right. That's what I'm talking about. So it's not something like that. It's one big deal like that. It's just me trying to sort of compare and yeah, to see, okay, which one is like the better, whatever. And then I'm then able to check on my from my own dashboard to say, okay, what Google is giving me and what Facebook is giving me, is it the same? Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
All
Does
right.
that make sense?
Thank you so much, Kayode, for this very
Yeah.
amazing session. I'm very sorry, Manuel, but we won't be able to take this question, like your question, because our time is fast spent.
Yeah, I've spent
Okay.
almost 2 hours. Apologies.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for that full session. And we could go on and on, but we have a very limited time. So you can just do well to reach out to Coyote, just ask your questions. You can reach out to him on LinkedIn. Just ask your questions. So sorry about that. Okay, so moving on. I would like to share my screen. Just give me a minute.
Emmanuel said he wants to ask me for my account number.
Okay, so this is the landing page for the live program performance marketing. So if you are looking to learn more about campaigns, please do also enroll for this program. You can just click on enroll now and you can fill in your details. And when you're answering this question, you can just put Jegede, Kayode Jegede. You're going to get a 15% discount when you're trying to enroll. So please do well to enroll. You can also check out the brochure here. You can request for it. Please confirm if you can still see my screen. So you can just click on request brochure. You will be asked to fill in your details. Then we'll send it to your email address. So please do also register for this program. It promises to be a very eye-opening experience and get the value for your money. All right, so moving on to the feedback session, I'll be dropping a link in the chat box. Okay, so here is the link to the landing page, and I'll also be dropping a link in the chat box. So kindly do also click on it and share your feedback with us. How was the session? And what is your key takeaway? And what do you advise to improve on? Okay, so let's just do this quickly. How would you rate this session, and what is your key takeaway, and what would you advise to improve on? Performance marketing program is starting this weekend, so please do well to secure your seat very early. How would you rate this session with Kayode, and what is your key takeaway from this session? I know we've learned a whole lot from Kayode. And please, Emmanuel, please just do well to reach out to him. All right, so please let's quickly take this. How would you rate this session, and what is your key takeaway? I think the first response is in. How would you rate this session? What is your key takeaway from this session, and what do you advise for improving? Okay, so for the person who asked for the recordings, all right, so we are currently live streaming on YouTube. So once we are done with this session, you can just go on YouTube and search for Treford. You'll see this session there, and you'll see other previous TLC sessions that we've had. Just go there and you can always revisit the recordings anytime. How would you rate this session, and what is your key takeaway? And what is your advice to improve on? I can't see anyone typing. What is your key takeaway, and what do you advise to improve on? It was a great session. Looking forward to more responses. And please don't forget, when you are filling in the details, how did you hear about this program? Please do also fill in Jegede Kayode, so you will be able to get the 15% discount. Okay, so what is your key takeaway? Airtime gift. All right, I guess Kayode is going to share that later on. Let's just take this feedback session. Okay. Set an exact goal before launching a campaign and also use data insights to back it up. Awesome. Okay, measure what's everything, but not everything, but measure what matters. All right. I can see 2 people still typing. What is your key takeaway from this session? Okay, UTM trackers are very, very important. Is anyone still typing? Yes, lots of people still typing. Okay, so you need to track everything if you want to stand out as a marketer. ROI is everything. Some more responses before we call it a session. Okay. Learned a lot about UTM trackers and what my skill set is missing. Is there a discount for those that saw the ad already and want to pay, or the discount is only for Coyote? All right, so the discount is only for people on this call. If you're on this call, you are entitled to a 15% discount. Moving on to the next question, what do you advise when improving? What do you advise when improving? Okay, network. Okay, so sorry about that. What do you advise we improve on our speakers network? All right, apologies. This Nigerian network here. Yeah, I wish this held on Saturday. My brain is fried from Monday rush. So funny. Okay, there should be light refreshments. No, the airtime is going to go around, don't worry. So I guess we are done with this feedback session. Right, so I'm going to be dropping the link to the landing page again. Please do also enroll for the program and just put in the name Jegede Kayode to get your 15% discount. Let me show the landing page link again. All right, so I just dropped the landing page link. Please do also, go for the program. It's starting this weekend actually, and we have a whole lot of amazing topics in the curriculum. Just check it out. You can just request for the brochure and you'll see the lineup of facilitators that we have there for you. All right. So I guess we are done for today. I don't want to keep us waiting on this call. And once again, my sincere apologies, Emmanuel, for not taking your question. I'm really running against time. All right. So thank you so much, everyone, for taking our time to join this call this evening. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you in our next TLC session. And I look forward to seeing you in the performance and marketing program. Thank you so much for joining, and you do also enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
All right. Hi, Emmanuel. Oh, you want to pay now? Okay, so just click on the link. Can you just stay back on this call?
Okay.
Yes, please. Thank you all for joining.